This live trading room starts now.
Hey guys, welcome to the Live Day Trading Room. I'm Lawton Ho here with Verified Investing, and I'm going to be joined by a couple other interesting looking people. The most handsome of all of them, Drew Dosick, is with me right now, but I'm going to be joined shortly by Gareth Soloway and everybody's favorite Benjamin Poole. How's it going, Drew?
Doing great, man. How flattering, Lawton. Thank you so much, sir.
I know, like, you have the mustache, the cleanest mustache. Like my brother I was trying to explain Drew to my brother. He's like, "Oh, that's the guy with the nice mustache, right?" And I was like, "It is. There's only one
Nice.
of them that can grow good facial hair."
I tell you, it took me a long time too, and ever since I grew it out, my wife is prohibiting me from shaving it. So,
Dude,
keeping the wife happy, man.
I don't even know what you would look like without that. When
I
was
would
the
look
last time you had no mustache?
2020, so 5 years ago, and all of my life before, and I looked about a good 15 years younger than what I look now. The funny part is, my uncle, he had a nice mustache. This guy, he was literally cowboy. He won, I guess, Cowboy of the Year in Colorado. He used to live out there and raced horses, all sorts of stuff. But he was like kind of like the Brad Pitt in When a River Runs Through It in that movie, and he just looked like that big mustache, um, hardy Western cowboy type guy.
And it looks like we have another challenger joining us.
Yes, welcome everybody. My name is Benjamin Poole. You guys probably know me by now. Yes, talking about facial hair, I can't grow anything either. I think I shaved on Sunday. Yeah, and you can't tell. It's pretty.
You shaved on Sunday?
I think so. Yeah, and it's now Wednesday. No facial hair, just none, which is great because my wife doesn't like facial hair.
There you go.
Nice.
And you save money on razors, so good for you.
Oh yeah, dude, I go through a pack of razors, like a 10-pack in like 3-4 years, like no joke.
I just use an electric razor, but I don't have to change that. I don't know. It's scary. I don't know. Using a straight razor is kind of, or whatever, is scary.
I don't use a straight razor. I just use a tri or a 5-blade razor.
Like I remember my dad had one in the shower, and I had to use my dad's shower one time when I was a kid, and I went to grab soap, but then his razor was flipped up, and I just put my hand there, and it cut my fingers. And
Oh,
after that, I was like, all right, I'm going to use an electric razor.
that's all it
Uh,
took, huh? One time when you were younger.
That's
uh,
smart and good for you. Usually it takes a couple times to touch in a hot stove or something like that to figure it
Right.
out.
yeah.
There you go.
Jared says you should speak of the Challenger when in a spaceship. That's true. I am. So what's going on?
Well, Google is still up on the day.
It is, isn't it? And TXN had a nice bounce, but Google, yeah, Google's made new highs of the day, made new all-time highs.
Yep. Again,
You gonna short it?
a Pierce of 231 would have been a great entry on that. However, I still have my order out at 232.56. 232.56.
How about 231.50? Any takers?
231.50. You want to start an entry there and add every $2 or so higher?
Yeah,
Whatever.
maybe I'll dabble a little. Um,
You do have an upsloping trend line on Google. Let me share my screen. Let me remove there. All right, here we go. Here's the upsloping trend line. You got this pivot high here, kissed it here, pierced it here, and then third, this would be the fourth hit of the trend line. Start breaking down, and you could get down to 229.64. Well, that's going to be your first support. And then you're going to have additional support at 229.17. And then if you can start breaking 228.40, then I think you have got further downside to go. But that's going to be the tough part, is getting through that. I mean, there's just so much buying pressure into Google that it's unreal, at least at this time.
Oh, we have tons and tons of questions.
William,
You
wow.
know, the most recent pivot high, Ben, on the 1 minute almost looks like it's starting to form a head and shoulders pattern there on Google.
Yeah, it started to here too. So you got shoulder, head, shoulder. Looked like it broke down, but then just caught a bid.
Mm-hmm.
So this could be another shoulder, head, shoulder pattern. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to start? Position now?
Well, it's got to break and then retrace, unless you want to gamble on it before. The hard thing about doing that right now is we're at the early afternoon period, and then we look over at the S&P 500, and we're basically within the same range of where we opened. So that just makes that trade a little bit more difficult. Doesn't mean it can't work out, but it just hasn't triggered yet. And I'm not seeing a lot of volatility come into the markets, encouraging us for that downward move.
No, yeah, if we were going to get into this would be an overnight hold play.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that would be more of a better angle. One thing I do want to point out that I noticed over lunch, and I'll just flip over to my charts real quick and I'll flip them back to you, Ben. But I noticed, Palantir, we were talking a lot about it today for day trading. And I didn't really have any good levels within all this chop. And as you notice, we've come straight down, chop sideways. Well, that creates a measured move down to 115.
Ooh.
Yeah. So if
Yeah,
this
big fall.
Yeah, that would be awesome. If this plays out, we're coming down. We'll likely catch support at each one of these trend lines, but for this major move to complete, we're talking about down here around 115. So really neat pattern that's starting to show itself on Palantir. All right, right back at you, Ben.
I was just looking at Macy's and SMR. Oh yeah, it did pierce 43. SMR would be a great trade again to hold into tomorrow. It's up 13% on the day. It has had a decent pullback, but the relative strength index, look at this, it's staying above the 30. So I'll go over this tomorrow in my RSI trade of the day. And you switch to the daily time frame. Still got a little bit higher to go. $44.22 is a great possible entry for a short level. You do have this this upswing trend line that connects this pivot low right here from the 8th of May, 1583. Oof, that's so low. 3403 is the next hit, and then you've got, this would be a retrace of seeing the crime after this breakdown. So it could go a little bit higher. The first level of resistance is going to be 44.22, and then this gap fill at $50.36, which is a pretty significant resistance level for SMR. HEMS is kind of heading a little bit higher today as well. I was mentioning that 46.83 is the level that I have as far as my first resistance level. Switch to the 1 minute chart. This has stayed pretty strong in the day as well. See how the relative strength index stays above the 30. So as soon as it creates this basically double top or this negative RSI divergence, but the price action doesn't necessarily tail off with the relative strength index, this gives me an indication that it's going to be a strong stock on the day, and that's what we've got going on right here with HIMS. So tomorrow we'll look for a move up to $46.93. It could get up to 48.16. So it's a 2 to 5% move to the upside, either by the end of the day or tomorrow. Yeah, somebody was mentioning Rocket Labs. Yeah, Rocket Labs.
I don't see that 44-43 gap fill you're talking about there, Thomas.
Did it? I was gonna say I don't remember saying a gap fill, but you were talking about Rocket Labs.
No, there's also on Rocket Lab. There's no gap fill 44-43. There's a previous gap fill, I guess, at 44.39. Maybe you're talking about that. That hasn't been hit though, right?
No, it has not.
So Other than that, I'm not sure what other gap fill you could be talking about. RKLV, quite the sell. Maybe a Pierce of 44. You expect to see some support. This is almost a meme stock.
It's
Why is
crazy that it's a $21 billion meme stock.
It is a meme stock, though.
Oh, I know. It's just funny to say, hey, you know,
Yeah.
we've got a $21 billion company, and oh, it trades like a meme stock.
It is, yeah.
It's like it's a small cap or something.
Yeah.
Pretty
It's
wild.
RKLB and ASTS. They trade in tandem. Yeah, ASTS is also down. Those are the two meme stocks.
Yeah, I wouldn't have a level. 44.38 got a little bit of a bounce. If you break below this upsloping trend line, connects this pivot high here, this pivot high here, broke below, got back above. So now it's going to be a support again. If it breaks inside of here, then you're going to hit this upsloping trend line, probably around $41 or so.
Psychic, target for KDP is the same. There's been no change on that.
Google's now breaking that neckline on the 1 minute.
Are we getting in?
Oh, let's see if it's a retrace.
Oh, you got to wait for a retrace.
Are you wanting to get in now?
Well, I mean, how much of a move higher are you looking?
You know, I mean, the thing is just I'm kind of still the same way I was at the beginning, where it's just like we're at not a lot of volatility.
There's no volatility right now, unfortunately.
So it's a harder short. With no volatility, I would be more eager to buy something in this sort of scenario. Say the inverse head, or say it was an inverse head and shoulder. Rather be more inclined to buy. Danny was asking about Baidu. I'm going to show you this chart on Baidu real quick. Look at this, how the last 3 days of trading, price is broken out from this declining trend line. Notice that you're right. We may be forming a doji today, but this isn't breakout scenario. So support on Baidu is going to be back down here, basically near these pivots, right around $94, down to this trend line right around 93.50 to $94. But this is a nice breakout currently underway with Baidu. Wouldn't necessarily be interested in shorting because you're likely coming just right back down here to this trend line at best. That's a nice breakout scenario.
All right, Drew, here's a question for you.
What's up?
Is there any, do you have time to go over your Reddit trade and tell them why you took profits where you did?
Yeah, a little bit. Some of which I'm happy to go over. Others, it's a little bit more proprietary. We haven't created courses for them yet. So basically, what I was targeting here with Reddit is a move up here to gap fill. Gap fill was 241.76. Price never got up there to 241.76. If I flip back into the 1 minute chart, here you can see Reddit pushed up from yesterday's close, pushed up about $19. And so we're within that realm of about a $20 gain on the stock. So you should be anticipating a pullback of about 10% of that pop. So about at least $2. And I extended that out to $3 because of my mathematical calculation. I went in lighter into this play because I saw price starting to stutter right here. Almost formed a 2 minute bear flag. You can see that before ripping back up, not quite getting to double top. But what I did here was, since I was noticing price was starting to stutter, you can flip on the volume too, and you can see that volume was really upticking right through here. So all of that gave me a sign that, all right, we very well may not get up to that gap fill of 241.70, what was it, 72, 76, I forget. But we very well may not get up there. So then I mathematically calculated, okay, I was going to be going 1/6 up here at gap fill. So then I went a little bit lighter because I was planning to get in before it got up there because I saw there could be a chance we wouldn't. So I reduced my share size, then mathematically calculated, all right, how far away is that gap fill? And I want to make sure that my next ad is going to be at or near that gap fill so that I can at least acquire more shares at that level, as that's the level that I was targeting for resistance. But good thing that we didn't wait to get in here because price never got there. And as you see there, we did have a nice incredible fall here on Reddit. Who could have guessed that it fell all the way down, now trading at 221. But that sort of technical move would imply about 10% pullback, which should be around $2, and we took a little bit more than that. So that's kind of my mind and thought process through that entire trade. And again, this is a series of a couple different factors. One being the gap fill, one being extended, another being part of a little bit of a reversal signal, if you will, in this area, and all of which got me into the trade. Does that make sense?
Christian's also asking if gap fill was the only factor that you had.
No, it was not. Yeah, I normally don't want to take a one-factor trade. Doesn't mean they won't work out. I normally at least want to have a couple factors. Ideally, what I want to have is, like a great trend line or a fib retracement, in addition to gap fill and an extension. Because every time you stack a factor into the trade, you end up increasing your odds. So let's just say we want to take a trade here, blindly not knowing anything, that happened after, so like blindly we want to take a trade here. So what are you going to do? Like, how much are you going to take? All has to be really calculated before you get into that trade. And ideally you want to have, let's just say gap fill was here at 239.40. So we have that coming, and we have a nice extended move here on the RSI pushing at 87.96. It's an accelerated move too. And then you combine in some other factors, you're going to increase your odds from 50%, like right here, it's just a 50% trade, whether you're wanting to short this without any sort of other factors. 50-50, throw in another factor, you increase that about up to 65 to 70, throw in another factor. Now you're pushing 80 to 85, maybe even 90 with a 3-factor trade. But the more factors you can add in, the higher the potential for the probabilities of it to play out. Doesn't mean they always will do that. 90% factor trade is going to fail 10% of the time. So we take 100 trades, it's 10 trades we're going to lose that. Dean asking Palantir, what is my level for a buy? I do not have one. For a day trade, I do not have one.
My question, Dean, would be, why are we targeting, or why would you be interested in targeting a stock that's down $1.26? It's a $155 stock. It's down 125 or $1.25, less than 1% down.
Yeah, I really think through it kind of the way I just explained my trade on Reddit. Reddit was up about $20. So I was looking to take at least 10% of that move. So, okay, so Palantir's down $1.24. 10% of that move is 12 cents. Just kind of think of it that way. That's at least the mental approach we have and go into these trades. We want to, now there's different scenarios, whether like Hood, like Gareth was shorting Hood, or Palantir or GEV. When we were continuing to move up like this and was getting intraday pullbacks, that's a completely different type of trade. But still, it's all encompassing the extended daily move, the continual extended daily move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, put in the top on the 8th candle, and then fell right back down. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 down. And then now we've been moving sideways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now on the 10th candle, moving sideways. Notice the last 3 candles here have started breaking this inclining trend. So that also would make me less inclined to want to buy here.
I'm showing mine. There you go. Give you the screen back.
Oh, you were? Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. Shoot. Here.
That's all right. There you go.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, you can see here. 8 candles up here, 7 candles here. Counting this candle sideways, we got 10. And now we've got 3 candles the last 3 days of trading that have all closed underneath this inclining trend line. Hasn't confirmed underneath, but at least at the point it's starting to display that we're attempting to break down. I went over this in trading the close, and you can see, I think this illustrates this perfectly. You can see this trend line showing the break of trend, price coming back up, retracing the break, and then selling off. And then notice where we are in the steps of Nvidia. We've broken, but we haven't retraced. So that's still a possibility. Doesn't mean it has to happen. Heck, Nvidia can come straight down here to the 50% area of the parallel. But GEV illustrates exactly what happens when price breaks a sort of trend like this. You know, if we get a drop on Palantir, you know, like down to that trend line, that would probably be a day trade level. 136.14. Got all this consolidation right here before it made a move back up. Plus we got this pivot over here too, and this pivot. So right around that 136. That'd be where I would be interested in. All right, so spiders started coming in a little bit. Last 10-minute candle, almost filling this gap.
Okay, what's your prediction? Will the spiders and Qs close negative today?
Wow, that's just complete guessing. Here, you know what? Check this out. I don't think I went over this. What is it going to do today? Well, I guess if what you could say, yesterday's spiders had a cup and handle pattern, right? And actually, Ben went over this with Adam and Eve pattern. But you see it played out. So that move's already done. And now with the spiders now coming back underneath this trend line, I imagine we're probably going to just be in this range. So probably it'll be positive for the day. I'd be surprised if we close back above this inclining trend line. We get on the SPX. You notice here, this is something I teach in the sleeper hold, mastering the overnight trade. We actually have that sort of setup again now. However, on the weekly, just the other week we had this set up on the daily right here. This move right here, that was a sleeper hold setup. Price did get above it briefly, but then has since come right back down. Now we're having it set up, the sleeper hold on the weekly chart too. So that should imply we have some downward movement on the spiders or S&P 500 in the near term. What is your prediction, Lawton?
I think.
Therefore, I am.
I think it doesn't it closes green, but I think we're going to go negative briefly.
Okay. Yeah, look at this rally yesterday. That was incredible. Most of that time I was preparing for trading the close, and then all of a sudden we just rip higher towards the end. Incredible move intraday. Look at the back and forth of this market. The uncertainty is truly displayed right here on the chart. You know, topping tail, bear flag coming down. Now we have cup and handle moving up higher on the charts. It's literally just displayed right here how I guess the potential tariffs that are now uncertain. But the more I was reading about that, I guess there's, and, you know, I'm not a lawyer, but I guess there's all sorts of other avenues should this current judge ruling hold up. Apparently there's a lot of different other avenues that they could exercise to still implement some of these tariffs. So they're not, a lot of it's not going away. And some of the articles I was reading were talking about that too, how most of the importers aren't really asking questions about what happens if these go away. They're more asking questions about, okay, what's the next step then? So I kind of anticipate that's likely going to happen through the litigation process. Andrew's asking, I was wondering why your team does not take mini trades in the afternoon session. Thank you. Ben or Lawton, you want to answer that?
I guess, where is your advantage in the afternoon, right? So if you notice that we take trades in the mornings based on volatility, let me give you an example of what I mean by that. So I'm going to steal the charts from Drew. Here's a trade on Macy's that we had this morning. Let me go ahead and remove the VWAP for you so you can see a little bit more clarity. So Macy's was up 17 all the way up to 20% on the day. Price action opened up right here at $15.39. It continued higher all the way up, getting up into increasing 6% in addition to where the opening price was, right? That is an extreme volatile situation. So once it gets to the gap fill, you're going to have a rebound off of that. And so that's what we did. We entered it at $16.36, got a pullback of 30 cents, took almost 2% on that win, and then moved on. Now let's caveat that and say, all right, let's look at the spiders. Where is your volatility, right? Where is your reflex to the upside or downside? Could we potentially say, all right, well, we think that it's going to reverse because it pierced this double bottom right here? Yeah, we could have taken a short here, but then what? Now we're stuck. Or if we go long here, what are we looking for as far as an upside target? We looking for 0.21%? I mean, that's if you scalp the absolute bottom. And then what happens? All right, well, there's no movement, there's no price action in it. And so, all right, well, we were looking for a 0.5% victory on the SPY. Well, now all of a sudden we're having to add to the position and maneuver through it with zero volatility. So in that situation, there's no advantage for us. There's no stretch reflex. The fear and greed generally takes place in the mornings, not necessarily in the afternoons. So why don't we take them? Because we don't have an advantage. Things usually chop sideways and don't create as much volatility.
Yeah, and can I add to that? Do you mind?
Not at all. Go ahead.
Listen, if there is an opportunity to trade, I'll take it. Like, I'll trade anything at any point in time, right? But if like Ben said, if we don't have an event, like if you look at our track record, right, we have a clear success rate around the high 80s, right? We didn't do that by forcing trades. If you find a setup and you send it to us and it says good, right, and it looks good, yeah, we'll take it. But if you just take a look at the volume, right, the difference between the volume in the morning and the afternoon, like, we're so successful and we have such a high win rate because we only want to take the highest percentage trades. Because for us, it's not about forcing a trader being in a trade at always, right? That's not what makes a trader profitable. It's a balance of a bunch of things, but one of them, the most important things, is taking good trade setups. So
another thing is, before
dude, you just disappeared like that. What was that?
Yeah, it's because I was removing gum. Anyways, so when I was a newer trader, I felt like I needed to be in multiple trades, and I kind of had the same thought process or question that you did. Why? I mean, if it's getting into a gap fill from the above, it's coming into a gap fill. Gap fill should just work. I lost more money trading in the afternoon than I would in the day, because when there's volatility, I can maneuver through the trade. Whereas in the afternoon, if I get into a trade and it just keeps floating against me, one way or another, adding to the position just increases your risk. There's no maneuverability. So we need that volatility in order to maneuver through the trades, because that means that there's going to be fear and greed that's set up in somebody's head who's alongside of me in a trade, most likely making the wrong decision. But in the afternoons, it's just not there. Like, the institutions are gone, or they're not trading as much. The algorithms trade more. And yeah, you just lose more money. I mean, honestly, you just lose way more money.
Yeah, Lauren's saying you can only take what the market gives you, or the market will take it from you. Great quote.
Yep.
I see that Western Digital heading to double top. Yep. I see that. Still about $1 away, about 1.5% away. Andrew says you need participation. Yeah. And you know what? If you want to try, you're welcome to try. I'd recommend trading on a paper account. Who knows? Maybe you can prove us wrong.
Yeah, it's interesting because a lot of people ask, why aren't we trading? Well, we're not trading because we're sitting on our hands because there's no volatility, but that doesn't mean that you can't trade and share your experience, right? Just our experience, you lose more in the afternoons with no volatility.
Duolingo level 274.91.
Gap fill's getting closer on the spiders, guys. Now making new intraday lows. Gap fill is
Wayne saying 100%. If you don't believe, go ahead and try it for yourself.
640.31.
Yep.
What did I say? I said it was gonna go red briefly and it's gonna close green. Let's see if that crystal ball works. Are you guys playing fantasy football?
No, I don't like fantasy football.
Why?
Because it requires me to actually sit down and figure out who's playing, what the opponents are, which wide receiver is going to be playing against the worst defense. No, I don't have the headspace for it. I have other things I want to do.
Is your son playing it?
He's in 3 leagues, yes.
Is he in the same league that you showed me last time where somebody got fleeced and he got fleeced and then he fleeced some other kid? This Fleece City over there?
Yes. He's learned his lesson.
Okay.
Yeah, that guy. That guy. He had Derrick Henry.
Yep.
And the guy, this was Michael's first year playing. And the guy, basically took advantage of my son. Well, not take advantage of him, but he was like, oh, yeah, you can have Brandon Ayuk for Derrick Henry. It's a great trade.
No, it's not a great trade.
So my son said, oh, yeah, I know Brandon Ayuk.
I like the player.
I don't know who
Derrick
Henry
Henry
is. Yeah. I'm like, what are you doing? And turns out Derrick Henry was like a freaking star.
Yeah, my kids are not gonna get fleeced. I'm going to
He did take seconds, which I mean didn't earn him any money, but still, first year, second place. It's pretty incredible.
That's good. I'm gonna make sure my kid does the fleecing. Be like, these nerds have no idea how to play this game. You gotta dominate them.
Yeah. This year I think he's gonna do much better.
Ahmad saying he's in 4 leagues. There you go, Ahmad.
4 leagues. Let's go. Ahmad says we should do a VI fantasy league. Why you want to do a 5th? You want to join a 5th league? That'd be fun though. To have like a draft. The problem is that the season starts tomorrow. We can start it late if you guys want to do a VI draft and have a 100-man league.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine?
Yeah, everyone.
Nobody would do very good.
Yeah, that would be awful. Google falling.
Yeah, it is.
Falling a bit, fading a little bit.
It's now about 70 cents from that neckline. That's part of the difficulties too, with, yes, it has played out so far, but with lack of volatility, lack of volume. Yeah, exactly. Like where
if you get it perfectly, yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Sorry.
No, you're exactly right. I mean, now, hey, we're speaking in the middle of this move. Maybe it does continue to move down under 228. But again, it's like you got lighter volume. So once that selling pressure is turned off, kind of think of it like a spigot. Once that's turned off, well, then the buyers can just come right back in and buy. And especially when we're looking at the spiders, or at least I am on my other screen, and gap fill's getting close, and it looks like price is starting to get bought up right around gap fill. It's just a tougher trade. It's not to say it won't work out. It's just a tougher trade when you don't have that volatility.
Yep. Derek says the market is like playing poker. Statistics, and remember that you're always the small stack. It's true.
It's a good point.
What I don't know that we'll do a VI fantasy league, but here's what we'll do. And I didn't talk to anyone ahead of time, and I'm just making this up, but we're gonna do it. We'll do a verified investing March Madness bracket challenge. See who
That'll be
has
fun.
the highest place, and then the winner will get a prize. We'll send like a lock of Gareth's hair, maybe, and then we could also do a Masters fantasy challenge too.
Is that a thing? Is that an actual thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have it on their app. You can do it. It's pretty
Mhm.
clean too. You don't have to build it out anywhere else. Kind of like March Madness, right? You just send the
Yeah.
link on and it's easy.
But my friend got me to buy into a fantasy Masters thing, and I just got crushed. I asked Drew for some help, but yeah, I got kind of stepped on.
You got fleeced.
I have fleeced for $50, man. I was like, dude, I don't watch golf. I just clicked everyone who I recognize. It's like, why is Tiger Woods not winning? I'm just kidding. I didn't put Tiger Woods. But
That's funny though.
It's a good point, dude. Betting on golf is so tough.
yeah, I know there was one. You told me there was one Masters tournament that Tiger was favored to win, right? The first time ever, someone was the odds were plus odds for him to win Masters.
Yeah, there's been some kind of silly odds with golf in the past,
Hmm.
especially when Tiger was on that run, early 2000s. I mean, you're talking. I mean, yeah, the sports books really weren't taking too many bets, paying out any sort of percentages for Tiger Woods. You'd have to almost pay extra in a lot of cases, which is just really unheard of. Usually the odds are like, it's like 50 to 1 or, 100 to 1 or because it's just so, I mean, you got at least 72 people in the field. I mean, that's a deep field. Probably 20, 30 of those probably really have a legitimate shot of winning. So you've got a 1 in 30 shot and anything can happen. Betting sports
I
is so tough.
know.
It's so tough. You don't know these people. You don't know if they just got in a fight with their spouse. You don't know if they're a little bit sick. Maybe they had food poisoning or, I mean, there's a lot of variables.
Yeah, I mean, that's why when I do sports bets, I just do like futures bets. I don't do like individual thing, like games and matches. Like I can't. Like some of my friends are crazy, and like, you know, they're starting like I can tell like they opened up the Hard Rock sports betting app or whatever. They made it legal in Florida, and I could tell that some of these guys they're getting on the borderline of like I need to take away their phones or like
Put them
they
in
need to get
timeout.
some help because
Get grounded.
they're starting to bet on like women's softball in Japan. You know what I mean? Like once you go like over there, I'm like, guys, like come on, like we're not doing this right now. Like I know it's a lull season, like it's only baseball right now, but like we're not we're not doing that.
I was reading an article about that the other day, talking about how accessible it is, and like they're basically contributing it to the decline in some of Vegas foot traffic because now the sports book is in your phone, right? So pretty interesting.
Yeah. Nice pop on KDP. Yep. Okay. James says, "Do you guys take each other's trades normally? For example, are any of you guys trading KDP? And other than day trading, are you guys swing trading as well?" Yes, I take. I don't take all of everyone else's trades, but I take some of their trades. Um, some of us are in KDP. Um, I have a swing trading account. I have multiple swing trading accounts, and I have one day trading account. Of course, the company as well. Um, so
So yes,
yes, yeah,
I don't often take other traders' trades, and the main reason I don't often take the other traders' trades is I'm so focused on trying to find a good setup for you guys. Like, for example, when we went short Palantir, I allowed Drew to take that one while I waited for Google to get up into my specific level. So this way I can navigate my trade the best I can for you guys, and you know that you have my full attention on that. Now, if Drew was in another trade and I needed to get into Palantir, then I would have taken that one. But my focus was on Google because that was the one I gave ahead of time, and that was the one that I was really, really interested in trading. So, yeah.
Yeah, I find that's about the case for me too. It's pretty rare. And that's the point of the service though, guys. You've got 4 of us completely devoted to finding good levels and trade setups for you guys, that it would be impossible for you to replicate that on your own in your own headspace, right? For you to be looking at 4 different charts or have 4 different setups. I mean, how many times during the morning where I come on and say, give my levels, and just like this morning, those levels weren't even touched. And so there's only so much I can look at one given moment, just like you guys too. But with us, you've got 4 different traders honing in on levels. We're most likely going to find or get into a trade about every day, and that was rare back when we didn't have 4 traders, when we just had Gareth in the morning and then one person in the afternoon. It was more common to have maybe 3 trades a week, 3-day trades a week, maybe up to 5, but that was about the average.
Yeah. You're lucky if you got one a day. I mean, that was, I do remember that. It was like, all right, guys, this is August. We didn't get any trades today.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all right. We'll make up for it in the coming months where we'll get, 2 to 3 trades a day. But now, I mean, 2 to 3 trades is kind of normal, where it's like 5 or 6 trades.
Now we had 3 trades today, and somebody's like, "Why aren't you trading in the afternoon?"
Yeah. I mean, that is a perfect example, guys. Like where this room was doing great and was successful with 1 to 3 trades a week. Like think about that, a full week, and then we're getting asked, "Why aren't you taking a trade between 1:30 and 4 o'clock?" Like
right.
it's because again, we're focused in the trades and in the screens, but ultimately it's how we structured it all. When you think about it, it's the reason we use just the cash value, because in essence, if all 4 of us were in a full position, you guys could still follow along, as you do have 4x buying power in day trading. So this whole system is in essence like a supercharged vessel to allow you guys to execute more day trades than what one individual could possibly do. Yeah, Keith's saying, I remember going 1 to 2 weeks without a trade. Yeah, it's crazy. And Charles saying, yeah, the historical trade record shows when additional people join the room, huge spike in number of trades immediately. Yep. Because it's literally impossible. If you're intently focused on a level, on a stock, and we're waiting for that level to hit, I can't be looking at 3 or 4 other charts and getting ready to pull the trigger in those stocks too. Unless I'm preloading levels, right? And I'm not really preloading levels in this scenario. And Wayne, and you know what? That's awesome quote there, Wayne. Wayne says, one good trade pays for the service. And that's exactly what I started realizing too. I actually became far more conservative than I ever thought I was going to be. And again, it's a mental approach of, if you're not doing anything, you're not working. Well, I'm looking at charts and I'm setting up levels for potential trade tomorrow. I know Ben was talking about that, even level on HIMS earlier when he hopped on. So I'm continually working. I'm continually studying the charts. I'm just not exposing myself to any risk, because all it takes sometimes is literally 1 trade a day, and that can make you a boatload of cash.
What Gareth likes to say, 1 trade a day keeps the 9 to 5 away. That's right.
Yep. Truin, you're about right. August is a slower month. He says, so August is a vacation month. Generally, yes. Now look back, is not that far last year. We had the carry trade occur in August. We had a lot of volatility, big drop and big pop. So nothing's 100% guaranteed, but generally, yes. When summer vacation hits, investors, generally the summer's volume's lighter, so you're not going to have as much intraday activity. but it doesn't guarantee it.
With this him saying, do we have earnings traders today? Yes, guys. If you guys didn't hear, we're going live after the bell today. It's to trade earnings. I know, super, super exciting, right? Today and tomorrow, we're going live for earnings. Today, after the bell, we are going to be trading CRDO, Asana, HPE, among other stocks. Tomorrow, also big day. We have AVGO, Broadcom, IoT, Lululemon, tons of stocks. So it's going to be fun.
Wow, William, great stuff there. William saying, just to reiterate Drew's facts, since January, I average 100K plus per month, basically due to having 4 times trader power. Yeah, that's awesome. Now look, Google did play out. It played out. It's now 228.70. So anybody that did take that, congratulations. It was one I just stayed away from. As I said, we were staying away because of the lower volatility, but so far it played out. Yeah, Derek saying it's also students returning to school. It's a bit of a blah week, but yeah, things always move. Yes, they do. Could be Alan. Yeah. Alan's asking, is it fair to say gold is likely going to the 3,600 psychological level before significant pullback? Could be. Here, Lawton, you got the charts?
Yeah, you need them?
Yeah, I
got
got it. Let's flip it onto gold real quick. I actually do have a potential measured move up there, 36.21. That's my next potential resistance on gold. Oh, you're welcome, Alan. Crazy. This chart is just absolutely nuts. Topping tail blown away from the daily. Would be even more curious. This weekly topping tail is still intact. Running out of time though. Got 2 more trading days past today.
Yeah, I don't think that's good. I think it's safe to say that top and tail is not going to hold.
Right.
Yeah.
3,500's that level, just in case. But man, gosh, incredible push on gold.
And if the markets continue to see a sell, you expect gold to continue higher. And I mean, and we do anticipate a pullback. So, does that mean we should all buy gold?
I don't know. I can't buy all-time highs. Just the pure, like buying an ounce too. An ounce of gold is just so small. I just can't do it. I'd rather buy platinum or something.
It's just like so weird, right? Because you're like, well, gold is at all-time highs, favors a pullback, but the markets that are all-time highs, that favors a pullback, and the markets pull back, then gold is going to go up. So what do?
I think at some point, I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball, but I think at some point the uncertainty will get out of the way. I know during this administration, with some of the greatest parts about it, we've had so much volatility, it's created a lot of trading opportunities for us. But there will be a point where it's kind of like the story of the boy who cried wolf, where it's almost like we just get used to it, and like we've seen that really the last couple of months where there's been news come out that's apparently supposed to be bad and the markets don't really do anything but go up, so I think there's going to be a point, but whenever that point comes, then we'll have more clarity as to when these tariffs are going to end. Like basically the conclusion of all of this that's lifting up everything as far as our system and kind of putting it back together again. So it's still, it's odd. We've been in this limbo mode for 6 months. So no wonder gold hasn't really properly corrected. We should have seen price come down on gold back to this inclining parallel right around 3,100, potentially even as low as this, right under 3,000. We just never got that.
Yep. Look at Google. Coming down.
Yeah, now tag the top end. Yeah, now it's about to bounce.
VWAP.
Is it on VWAP?
It's hitting view up right now. Look at that.
Oh
Let's
yeah.
see if it's gonna bounce off of view up.
Oh,
Little baby
yep.
bounce. Doesn't it look
Oh,
so
there it
big on the
is.
1 minute chart?
It
Doesn't it look
does.
insane?
Yeah. That
I love
22-cent bounce.
Philip says, Gareth says that Nvidia will have a huge pullback when other companies can create chips that the chips that they make. What is your guess on how far Nvidia will pull back? It's a big question. If you take a look at Nvidia, excluding, like basically from 2022, Nvidia is up 1,600%. 16 was up over 1,800% from the Liberation Day lows, up over 100%, was up over 100% and is still up 95%. And this fall, granted, this fall on Nvidia was a bunch of things, right? We're at all-time highs. Earnings were less than favorable. So this fall, this 40-some% fall down here, 43% fall, was not due to just Liberation Day, right? Liberation Day happened here. Liberation Day caused a 21% fall. So if the announcement that there are going to be tariffs potentially coming in on Nvidia products, closing in on their margin of profit, is enough to have Nvidia drop 21%. Granted, the rest of the market sold off too, but 21%. You'd imagine when the price is 11% higher than those previous all-time highs when it fell off of Liberation Day, 41%. You'd expect this to fall further than it did on Liberation Day. So if I had to guess, the crystal ball, we have a crystal ball back there, but I'm not going to grab it because it's heavy. Maybe 50%, maybe to $75. It's like my max downside, but it's hard to say exactly. What do you think, Drew?
Yeah, I agree. It's hard to say. Hard to say. I agree. It's overdone, but I've heard that narrative for a while.
And that's not something that, like, it's not just one day, right? It's not going to fall all of a sudden one day. Like today, Nvidia goes to sleep at 169. Wake up tomorrow, oh, suddenly everyone can make those same chips. It's going to wake up at $75. It's not going to happen. Like these are things that happen over time. And then when they start creating those chips, Nvidia might fall. But let's say the chips aren't as powerful as they once thought, like the DeepSeek thing, right? Then Nvidia goes back up. So then it'll be a gradual fall, right?
I think you're right, Lawton.
So
One thing when you're kind of thinking that way, like what's the guess? And this is more of an educated guess, but flip on your simple moving averages. Got this here on TradingView. On other brokerages, you've got them too. I got the 20, 50, 200. And flip over to the weekly time frame. I got Nvidia on the weekly. See that the W. And the red moving average down here is the 200 MA. Last time price was in there was back here in October of 2022. And it doesn't follow this to a rule book, but in general, every 200 weekly candles, price should touch this 200 moving average. So here we are at 148 bars, and it doesn't count once. Basically, 149 weeks. Look how far away we are from the 200 weekly moving average. Now that we still have 50 more weeks, basically another year, before price should tag this at some point. That doesn't mean it has to within 200 weekly candles, but that can give you a general idea as to where price is likely going on Nvidia. It's going to touch this again. It's just a matter of when. And you can look at this too on the SPX on the weekly time frame, and you can see this clearly displayed too whenever price comes down and tags that 200 weekly MA. And that's what I was anticipating here in April. Kind of got caught off guard by it. I was sitting here watching this 200 MA, kind of licking my chops, like, man, this is going to be great. Can't wait to buy everything. And really, price stopped basically at this pivot high in January of 22. But you notice the last time price came down here on the weekly S&P 500 was October of 22. So now let's go out. The S&P is now at 151 plus one, so 152 weekly candles without touching the 200 moving average. So we've got about another year before price is likely going to start coming in, potentially tagging that 200 moving average. Now it could be longer, so let's just go back out, or it could be shorter. So see, like this. This here was 63 weeks. This here from this last candle, 130. So you can tag it quickly, but then there could be extended periods where it's not hit. Like right here, hit here, did not hit here, but then it hit. Come on, one more candle. Basically, was this 377. So that clearly explains to you, kind of like what we're doing now. Notice that we didn't hit it here, much like we didn't hit it in April. Could this be an extended 330 weeks without tagging that 200 SMA? Maybe. But that it gives you a general idea. It could hit within 60, it could hit within 130, 160, 330. But in general, on average, it should be tagging this red line every 200 weeks. Then you look at Nvidia, you can see we didn't get anywhere close to that when we had the sell-off this year. We were still 58% away from a move up, 32 points. Pretty interesting, though. I think that exercise really just simplifies things in my mind. Throwing on the weekly and throw the moving averages on, it really kind of just puts things in perspective. Here, check this out with Google. So this ended up being a decent trade. Gonna regret talking ourselves out of it, but there was reasons behind it, right? Even you can see this neckline broke, so it's kind of canceling out this head and shoulders, but then it ended up happening. And look at this exact area of a bounce. Look at that right here, which is this inclining parallel.
That is also VWAP.
Yes, yeah. And I did not have VWAP on. You're exactly right on. So when I was noticing this bounce, I was like, "Ooh, it's that parallel." And then you chimed in and said VWAP, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, yep, right on it too." Pretty cool stuff. All right. Yeah, nice, John. Bought gold and silver 2 years ago just to have 1 year of expenses covered in the hard assets, and now occasionally buying some for his PMIRA. That says that the macro view, the gold is not going to be a loss ever. Yeah, that chart basically says that. Deep saying KDB got a small bid. Take a look at it, and then
yeah, it's back at the highs of the day, not the highs of the day, towards the highs of the day, back over 29. If it closes above 29, I think we'll be happy.
Yeah.
We're like $1 out of the money. I mean, it's not too bad.
mm-hmm. Even if you do have further downside, the next support's down here, basically $28.
Yeah.
So you want to see price maintain, close within these candles. You want to have price close outside of this green candle. That would then insinuate we're going to 28. These support levels were for the way down. I haven't changed this language, but these would be resistance on the way up. Much like the way you saw the bounce take it right to here and then fall right back down.
Yep. You know what I'm wondering? Where's Gareth? He hasn't made an appearance yet.
Oh, that's right. Where is he lingering?
He's not here, guys. I have no insider information, but I smell something. He's coming.
Well, he's welcome to stop by whenever he wants.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're gonna play a game, and it's not so much a game; it's just a segment. that my production team told me about. It's called Submit a Chart. So the way this works is you guys are going to submit charts for us to take a look at, and we're going to rate your setups, okay? So these can be longer term setups or day trading setups. I'm sure if it was day trading, though, you would already send it. But for those of you who are unfamiliar with how to submit your chart to us, this is how. This is my chart on Palantir. It looks insane. I know it does. Don't worry about it. You don't need to be able to read it. You just need to, let's say this is your chart that looks a little less insane. Click this camera button in the top right hand of your screen, and then click on this copy link function, okay? Copy that link once there's a good setup in frame and send it in the chat, and we're going to rate your trade setups and let you know what we think about them. Okay. Sound good, Drew?
Let's do it.
All right. So let's see those trade setups. Okay, first one is Derek. Derek says S&P about to roll over, trendline break. All right, let me see if I can recreate this. This is,
Or I can pop him on my screen if you want me to do it that way.
yeah, you can throw it on your screen. Yeah, that might be easier. You got it?
Yeah, give me a second. All right, just loaded it up. Cancel my screen. I'll flip it right back. All right, there we go.
I like it. I like the trend line.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. I love the way you drew that as well. Pivot to pivot.
We just got to see a close below, then confirmation. Then you can enter on a retrace or just short it. I like the setup. What would you rate it out of 5? Let's do 10. Out of 10 Drew stars, how many stars are you giving this?
Well, I guess I'm gonna revert back to Olympic judging, and like nobody gets a perfect. I guess it's almost impossible. This has got to be up there, 8 or 9 out of 10, because you're connecting major pivots here on the daily chart, and you did so with the methodology, very much so right here. Then you strung that through, and even though it's as simple as can be, one line. Look how much info it's given us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pierce, fought back and closed above it. And then now we're starting to breach that area. So I love it.
Good. That's a good rating. I'd give that a 8.5 out of 10. Keep sending your charts. Alan has one on AVGO. I'm going to be right back. 1 second. I got to pick up my food. Sorry, Drew.
Hey, go get it. Derek saying, I want a 9.735 Olympic judging. I like it. Says, thank you, Drew. I learned to color inside the box as a child. Awesome. Way to go, Derek. And I often refer to it as, even did earlier today, like Pee Wee Herman show, where it's just connect the dots. And that was my favorite thing growing up, watching that show as a little kid. And then this literally is the adult version of connecting the dots. Find a pivot, connect it, and then extend it out. And then the information you gather from this it's just incredible. All right, so we got another chart coming in from Alan on AVGO. Let's take a look at that. All right, here we go. AVGO. Ooh, beauty. Even showing a potential head and shoulder pattern over here on that side. Noticing that he does have that neckline established right here. Beauty. This, I assume, too, is a measured move from that. Very nice. And then it's also showing this next major level of support. Because notice here too, guys, when price came up, bull flagged, breached it, but then ultimately came back out, rejected, consolidated under this line. So that tells you that this trend line right here is a significant level to pay attention to moving forward. Not only was it a pivot, but we had an awful lot of price action consolidation. People were buyers here. So I like this. I would have to do the same thing. Also displaying this inclining trend line. So I might have to go a little higher since we do have, it's a little bit more complicated, added levels with measured moves. So I'm going to have to go, this is going to be a 9.565 on my Olympic judging scale, 9.565.
So I will say it looks amazing. And as long as you can break that neckline, then it'll be confirmed. You can prematurely draw a head and shoulders pattern, which it looks like you've done a great job of doing that. It doesn't confirm until it breaks, though. And so it's not a true pattern until it fully forms and breaks.
I think he knows that, but I just think that's how good
Perfect.
the chart is.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good. Yeah. I like I said, I agree.
I mean,
Great chart.
And the cool part about this too, and like I can dork out on these things, obviously, like it's you have this is the main spine of the whole chart, right? That's the main spine. That's the significant portion. We show price broke, price tried to retrace, didn't necessarily get there fully. He's already designated this as another major pivot, simple trend line. So a quick glance at this chart, you already have a ton of info. Even if you just had those two lines, boom, ton of info right there. And then thirdly, you're preparing for the future. That's what I'm taking this as. You're preparing for this could be a chance. Not there yet, just like Ben highlighted. But it's like, man, so he mapped out the past, prepared for the future, and added in a potential major move. I think that's pretty cool.
So you're telling me there's a chance.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. I like that. I like the mental step process through that, Alan. Very cool stuff there, sir. Ooh, Jitten, that's a good question. So what's my thoughts on AI earnings tonight? That could be a crapshoot. And the good thing and we are holding that in our swing trading service, and we have a ton of maneuverability in that should it go against us. So here, you know what, we'll pull up that chart because I just deleted mine. Then I'll hop off for a minute, let Ben steal the show. But we see here in the most near term, AI did have a very nice fall down, caught support on this declining trend line, has since bounced up and put in bullish consolidation. So that's all earnings really are a coin flip. I'm not able to see their books. I just know near-term price action with a big decline and bullish consolidation going into earnings. That's telling me the probabilities are likely going to move up. But anything can happen. Kevin Garnett, anything's possible. Anything's possible with these things. Ultimately, if it does move up, this will be the first area of contention right here, right around 1888. We could easily gap over that. Woodstock Macy's, that was one today. I was talking about this in trading the close, and I just had these beautiful longer term trend lines. And I was like, well, if you're looking on earnings, I got to be paying attention to these trend lines, like right here and right here on the bottom end. If it gets really sold off, then you'd be looking down here. And then look, it just gaps right up over them and continues pushing higher. And that could certainly be the case with AI, where we could gap up above or we can gap beneath that. But these I know are at least the most immediate resistance and support levels on that chart. So it's really, really tough to say. This gap fill would be a target should we gap and go. Gap fill around $22. But I like the near-term price action. I definitely do. The near-term being from August 12th onward. I really like that price action. Hey, Lawton, here's another one for you, sir. Actually, no,
For
wait.
me?
Let's do Ben.
What happened?
No.
Wait, hold on. I just want to say something.
What's up?
Hold your breath.
Some of these guys in that other office are disgusting. They're sickos. Actual menaces. There is a menace among us. There is someone actively sabotaging my lifespan in this office building on this floor. That does not work in this office.
It's good they're not in here.
That you know of.
I know what they look like now. I went to the bathroom, had to use the restroom. This guy, somebody in the stall. I don't judge. Whatever. Do you know what I do judge? Guy walks out of the bathroom as I'm washing my hands, so out of the stall. I look at him, makes eye contact with me. He turns and he just walks out the door. Did not wash his hands. Absolutely disgusting. He is actively ruining our lifespan. And I'm about to report him to HR. And not even my HR, his HR. Because he is a biohazard. All right. What was that chart? Sorry.
Biological warfare. I used to call that when I was playing poker a lot. You can't move your seats. You have to sit there. And if somebody's got really bad breath, it will take a toll. It's some biological warfare, no doubt. Yeah, Mutasim's got the chart. Actually, you want me to put it on the screen here for you, Lawton?
Yes.
All right.
He
Alright,
won't
let's see.
love it.
All right,
All
cool.
right, let's see it.
Let me add it right here.
Yeah, gold had a nice rollover. GDX, I'm so mad.
So this has to be a long, right, down-sloping trend line.
Oh my gosh, GDX just keeps falling. Now it's under 65. Son of a gun.
I
Whatever.
mean,
Whatever, GDX.
favors a move up on CRM. The only problem is CRM reports earnings after the bell. And unfortunately for you and for me and for all of the line drawers out there, our imaginary lines don't have any impact on earnings, on the company's earnings report. So as much as I would love to tell you that that means CRM is going to go higher off of earnings, which the chart says that it could, I could also do this. Let me show you my screen on CRM, and I could be like, but wait a minute.
But wait, there's more.
Yeah, there's more. And by more, I mean there's a head and shoulders pattern. Right. Look at this beautiful shoulder. Look at this head. And then another shoulder, right? That it tried to break, came back into. So I could say that's bearish for it. And I could also say that also going into earnings to add to my 100 lines, right? Because I don't have enough lines on my chart. I could say that there's an upsloping trend line here that CRM is favored to fall if it breaks. And that would lead into the head and shoulders pattern and continue to fall. But I like your charting and I like your setup, but unfortunately, we're about to have earnings after the bell. So we're really going to have to reassess into after earnings. I believe these are my earnings levels. Are these my earnings levels? They are. This is a sneak preview of my earnings levels. CRM, not the biggest movers. That's why these are really close. CRM generally moves around 5-ish% off of earnings. The biggest I saw was a 10% move. So I've had those levels on my charts after the bell. And if you at home want to get in and trade earnings live with us, we're going to be live after the bell. We're going to go live at 3:45 to trade earnings, including CRM today.
Dude, that's awesome. I like how you mapped that out there, Lawton.
Absolutely.
All
Let's
right,
see,
I'm
Ben.
gonna.
Yeah, you can hop off, Drew.
Yeah, I'll figure out. Go ahead and do that. Get ready for trading the close. Thank you guys as always. Always a pleasure to be here. And Jim, yes. And remember Poppy from Seinfeld? Yes, he. You remember that, Lawton, or no?
I didn't watch Seinfeld. Sorry.
Well, there was a part in that show that described basically exactly what you happened, except for Poppy was the head chef of a restaurant, and he was the bathroom. He went to the bathroom and he didn't wash his hands, and Jerry was in there witnessing it, and he didn't eat the food afterward. Needless to say,
Well,
so
it was
that was a good episode.
it was his girlfriend's dad.
Dad, yes, yes.
Yep. And one of the reasons that made that episode so funny is because he would try to give her some pie. Instead of saying no thank you, she just went and just shook her head no with a really clenched mouth. And so when he when he failed to wash his hand, I think they were eating pizza or something, and so she went to feed him and he just shook his head, like clenching his mouth and shaking his head no, like I'm not gonna do it. So that's what made that, yeah, it's so funny. And then George ended up doing that too. So it was a good episode. Good episode. Yep. Yep. And then the health department shut down Poppy's restaurant. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. It was pizza. All right, good. All right. Alan saying, I thought a head and shoulders pattern was negated if, after a trigger to close, it then closed back above the neckline. Am I missing something? It's true. So as long as So that would negate the head and shoulders pattern. It doesn't necessarily mean that the head and shoulders pattern won't eventually play out if you can get another break of that upsloping trend line. So that would just be your stop out level, and another pierce of that upsloping trend line.
You could reshort it.
You can reshort it. Yep,
Yeah.
that's right.
And play it the same.
So David is saying, if you chart ETFs like SOXS or SMH, do you guys find the patterns more or less reliable as say individual stocks? Well,
It's different. It's different. Sorry.
Well, the SMH you can chart, right? And that, because it's just overall, it's a collection of different stocks inside of the SMH. SOXS, you would chart the SOXX.
Yeah, because the SOXS, it's an inverse ETF, so it's going to be the same thing flipped backwards, which is fine. However, it's a 3 times leveraged ETF, so that means it moves 3 times as much. Whenever you're charting something, you generally want to. It's like doing research, right? When you're doing research for a project on school or whatever, right, and citing your sources, you're not going to cite a summary that you read online. You're going to cite the source material, right? You're going to look at the source material. In the same way, when you're trading a leveraged ETF or an inverse ETF, you want to try and chart the source material. Jitten says, Lawton, you're right. The S&P almost went red. I was close, right? I was close. It was like 15 cents away. It's close.
Close. Gold had a nice rollover. Now it's getting a little bit of bouncing with GDX. Not a huge fall over in gold, but decent. Seeing it's overextended. Look at this beautiful upsloping parallel channel. Yeah, see, this would negate any break of a upsloping parallel channel. I was looking at this and I thought, you know what, this is going to get down to 31.67 and possibly back down to $3,000. There's just so much buying pressure in gold, which it seems like it's the new VXX, right? So everybody's pulling their money out of well, not even pulling their money out of the stock market. They're just loading the stock market as well as gold. So it's usually it's more of a safe haven, which indicates that there's likely to be more of a rollover in the stock market. But apparently we're just going to throw our money in all the things right now. We're going to Bitcoin, gold, silver. Silver's been absolutely incredible. Uranium, SPY, Nvidia, Palantir. I mean, it's just been insane. Like, I thought the stock market was overbought a couple months ago, but now it's quite incredible how it just keeps going up. Brian saying people will be in both SOX and SOXL. Well, I'm not sure I follow along. Yeah, there will be some people who were in the SOXS, and then other people will be in the SOXL. I'm not sure if that's what you're meaning by that, Brian, but usually not simultaneously.
You could do it, but there's
Absolutely.
no reason to do it.
I say you just short both of them and just live with the consequences.
Make money over time.
The problem is the SOXS pays a dividend. I don't know if SOXL does, and so you're paying the dividend as a short seller in those. So it seems like you would make money, but I think over the long run you would not make money. But I don't know. Somebody try it. Tell me what you think. The problem with shorting is if you short, let's say, and you put $1,000 into something, it goes to zero, you make $1,000.
But if it goes against you, you're dead.
There's an infinite amount of money that you can lose.
That's why I'm using socks to short. But also because it's inverse, it's also leveraged, and it's cheaper, so more people can get into it.
Right.
All right. What do you guys want to talk about? What's going on? Anything exciting going on?
No, David. No, David, we would not. So David's saying when you look at Reddit, would you consider today a topping tail? Well,
90 bars. It has to be within 90 bars.
yeah, that would have been my question. Do you see it within the last 90 to 180 or more candles? No, unfortunately not. See what it looks like on the weekly time frame. Nope, it would not be a topping tail. It's a negative candle for Reddit, but not a topping tail.
But if you want to learn about topping tails, bottoming tails, there's a really great article on our website. If you just type in Google topping tail verified investing, the article pulls up called Mastering Topping Tails and Bottoming Tails, gives you the exact criteria and like the how big the wick must be, how big the body has to be, close of the candle, everything for both bottoming and topping tails. So it's really cool. You should check it out. Yeah, Google continuing to come down.
Yeah, it's still above where we exited our last half. So it's 228.38 right now. Charles is saying, my new trading laptop arrives next week. That will be a bit exciting, for me at least. All right, Paul's saying, the chart game? Question mark. Yeah, gold might have another leg lower. This is from Lawrence. Decent bear flag intraday. Yeah, I don't. It's a decent bear flag, yeah. On the 1 minute, 10 minute, it's still very immature. So this is what happened. You had a big price drop, sideways consolidation, but then price continued to move higher. So it could be setting that kind of up that pattern again. Not 100% sure. But if this continues to play out, then yeah, you could go lower. 350, 35.58 would be your next support level, and then 35.52. Yeah, I'm not sure what it's going to take for gold and silver to start selling off. I would have anticipated the price action of the S&P 500 continuing higher would get people out of gold and silver, but no. Again, buyers in these two commodities are insatiable.
Would you ever have a pet ferret, Ben?
I've had a pet parrot.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
With your kids or when you were a kid?
when I was a kid. I loved it.
Do you let it run around the house or?
Oh yeah, you neuter it. Make sure you neuter it because they stink. But they're so cute, man.
They're
They're like,
free. You let it free roam.
yeah. Unfortunately, I let it outside thinking it was like a cat and it would come back, but that thing went under the house. I tried to get it and just left.
So would you get another ferret?
No, dude, I'm not about pets right now. I do not want to take care of another being, human or otherwise, outside of my current family. Yep. We have 2 dogs that my wife takes care of, and those are her dogs. Those are not my dogs. Those are
How
her
about
dogs.
cats? Any
Uh,
cats?
I love cats, but again, I am not interested in taking care of an animal. Cats live forever, man. So as soon as my kids are out of the house, which they probably stay through college and a little bit after. So we've got quite a bit more time with them. But no, I want to be able to do what I want when I want. I don't want to have to think about another being. Like, who am I going to watch the dog or the cat or,
Well, ferrets only live like 5 to 10 years, so you're good if you get a ferret.
Nope. I'm good, man. I'm good. Think so.
Do your kids want more pets?
They actually want us to adopt another kid.
What?
Yeah,
They don't want you to have a kid. They want you to adopt one.
Well, they know that having another child is out of the question. So adopting is for them. It's different. So it's not necessarily out of the question for them. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? Getting
No.
it? Okay.
See how quick that was? Yeah, no.
When you said being, you meant it.
Yes. No, I 100% meant it.
Yeah, every single day. My girlfriend Katie, she always shows me to ask me to get a dog every single day. And I'm like, dude, it's so much work. I want one, but I'm the type of person who would only adopt a dog. But I'd only adopt a dog, but I also want a wiener dog, right? And those don't pop up in the shelter every day. But it's also a lot of work. I have a brand new house, and I'm doing construction in my backyard for a pickleball court, and I don't know, my entire house is all white. I know you've never been to the house, Ben, but my
No.
entire house, living room, everything is everything is white. So I feel
Nice.
like there'd be I don't know, I feel like I'd have an aneurysm if my dog pooped or peed on my couch. But I know it comes with having a dog.
Yeah. That stuff doesn't bother me as long as I actually it doesn't bother me. It used to. If I were your age, yeah, it would drive me nuts. But I'm 45. I'm like, whatever.
Dude, okay, then what do you mean you don't want to take care of another being? If them going to the bathroom isn't the biggest part of it.
I don't want to feed them. I don't want to go outside and walk them. I don't want
Why
to.
don't you what if you just get an older cat, a senior cat? Then you don't have to do anything. It takes care of itself. You can play with it when it wants to. When it doesn't, it's whatever, and it's probably going to be dead by the time your family moves out. Your kids move for college.
Do you know of a good cat like that?
Yeah, there's plenty at the shelter. There's plenty of cats that need be rehomed.
Yeah. Do I have to feed it?
You can just leave the thing there, and it'll just dispense it. It'll just come out. Just
Oh,
eat
but
it.
then I gotta buy the food and stuff. I'm telling you, I'm anti paying for that kind of stuff. I don't want to. I don't want to do it. Nope.
Oh man.
Don't want to spend my money on it.
JP says Ben just get a cow.
A cow? How is that? Feeds itself? Yeah, if you have the yard for it, absolutely.
It'll feed itself. Okay. Ted
Richard
says get a
cats are-
virtual pet.
Oh, See, I would have to open the the app and say, all right, it's time to feed you. No, I'm not. I'm not a 12-year-old little girl. Can't get a virtual pet.
Tamagotchi. Lauren says adopt a PhD student. It's much easier.
As long as they're they have a scholarship and or have their own loans. Yeah, see, man, I sound like a bah humbug, like it's Scrooge or something. But no, it's just I have things that I want to take care of, and another human being or another animal outside of what I'm currently doing is not on my priority list. Derek saying I want a manny personally. I just like a nanny without the kids and wife. Yeah. There you go. All right. INSP, Inspire Medical Systems. Had a nice fall today. It's still off of its lows though. Barely, but it is. Somebody was talking about Rocket Labs. TJ saying it's exhausting, Ben. Totally understand. My time is just really valuable to me right now. JP's, I feel you, man. JP, nah, man. Nah, Ben, I just moved into an apartment with a really nice dog park. I still do not want any responsibility added to my life. I know. Yep. All right. Was hoping we could get at least a little bit more volatility. What's surprising to me is Macy is still staying as strong as it is. Macy's still up 17.75%. Yeah, somebody had mentioned hymns earlier today. Never got up to that first level, $46.93. This low pivot right here would be what would have been interesting for me as far as a short goes. After this decent move up, put it up about 15%. I mean, you even pierced the double bottom right here. That's interesting. Shook all the longs out, put their stops right here below this low pivot. Said, all right, well, thank you. And then bid it up higher. It's interesting to see that happen over and over again. The only problem is you just never know when exactly that's going to happen, right? One of the reasons I probably couldn't have gone long there is you had already kissed that level one time. And so on a technical basis, it favors a move to the downside, although that was would only have been the third hit. Previous gap fill. Maybe that's what happened. Came and hit this previous gap fill. More and more I see this, the minor or previous gap fills still hold a lot of support, especially when you've had such a substantial move up from this gap fill. Even though it did end up coming back down and going below it, there was just no fear necessarily, because you opened up lower than that and just kind of headed higher. So once it comes back into that level, then you have people stopping out. Mario is saying your wife will take care of the dog anyways. Maybe your kids would love one. I have two. I have two dogs. And yeah, they don't take care of them at all, even though they wanted one. So my kids wanted a dog, and so we got him a dog, and this dog was gnawing on everything. She just chewed up a lot of stuff. She was nervous when we left her alone, and so she had a little bit of anxiety, and so we ended up getting rid of her, giving her to a next door neighbor when we were in our apartment complex. And the neighbor had another dog, and so Lucy was the dog's name. She did really well after that. She had a companion. My kids said, all right, well, we want another dog. And of course, my wife says, well, we can't just get one dog. We have to get 2 dogs. And so,
Wait, so you gave away a dog to get 2 dogs?
yeah, they were smaller dogs though, right? So Lucy she looked like a pit bull mix, but she was a small pit bull mix, like a skinny breed. So we got 2 like smaller dogs. So, but my kids said they wanted them, but then they don't take care of them. So who knows? Who knows?
Who knows?
What the kids want.
What's up, Gareth?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
I told you guys I sensed that he was coming.
I was just getting a lot of other stuff done here. My list was long today.
Yeah, happy
I
Monday
believe
off,
List
you.
was
sure,
long,
yeah.
my friends, that
I
day.
believe you.
Interesting little dump on the miners into that 230 close on gold today. Saw that. That was interesting. I still think these miners are set to drop. Look at this parallel channel. Such a great one. The new mining today. Look at that, right up into that trend line. Good little pullback on that's negative on the day, even with gold up.
It's so dumb. Why couldn't it just get up to my level? I had my level.
I know. Yeah.
This is one I would have held overnight if I needed to. Just needed to go up 1.6%, just $1 higher.
Maybe tomorrow gap up. Maybe again.
There we go. I'm still in. Let's go. Still love that level.
You'll take it at the same level tomorrow?
Yeah. Oh yeah. $66.90.
$66.90. Okay, guys.
Right.
You heard it here first.
Well, you probably heard it the last 2 RSI trades of the day, but so this would be your 3rd time hearing it if you watch those videos.
That was
Yeah.
your last 2 RSI trades of the day?
No. So it was yesterday's RSI trade of the day. So when I reviewed it, I did mention that I still love this level. So if it gets up to $66.90, I would still take it today.
I see.
Now we just got to get it to poke its little head above 66.90, get up to 67, and then pull that rug.
Yeah, I'm just kind of cycling through, checking on seeing what some of these other ones are doing. Google.
Nothing,
So,
right?
Yeah, really nothing.
What am I reading? Derek says the amount of dog you get is based on weight, not the actual number of dogs.
Yeah, so you get 30 pounds worth of dogs. You can either get 1 dog at 30 pounds or 2 dogs that equal 30
Dude, I
pounds.
feel like I'm like at a meat market. Like, what is happening right now? What are you just talking about? Please.
Oh, Derek.
Is your dog Gareth enjoying the bigger property?
Yes, yeah, for sure. Loves to kind of.
Minus the almost getting stomped to death by a.
Yeah. That was stomped to death by a deer was a close call, but
That's
yeah.
right. All right. So here's a question. So I dropped my car off. So my car is in the body shop. It was a minor fender bender, and USAA is my insurance company. They approved $2,200 worth of repairs, but the Tesla shop wants to charge me $3,300. Usually, Tesla doesn't have a problem with USAA approving the entire amount. How is it a choice? They say the insurance companies told me, hey, you can go in. We have our approved vendors that you can take it to, or you can take it to any body shop that you want.
Yeah.
How is that allowing me to choose any body shop that I want if they're not going to cover the repairs for any body shop?
No, they'll cover a repair for any body shop.
But they're not covering the full amount.
So
They're shooting me down like a. So Tesla wants to.
Did the adjuster come out to take a look at it?
Yeah, and they said we'll pay up to $2,200. Like what? That's the $1,100 difference. That's 33% more. That's I don't get it.
So
like,
okay. First of all, I know how much damage your car took, and it should not cost that much. Anyways, like my car, my Porsche, when I just got it back from the shop the other day, so my car tire blew up, whatever. I took it to the thing, I had it towed to the dealership. I called Progressive, and they told me the same thing that they told you, Ben. They said you can go to our companion one, and we'll just take care of it, like approved whatever body shop. We'll take care of it without an adjuster there, or you can use your own adjuster. So I said or own body shop. I said fine, let's just do your body shop because the repair is going to be quicker. And they try to send my car to this body shop, and the body shop calls me and says we don't deal with luxury vehicles. So then I call Progressive back. I'm like, dude, you guys aren't going to take my they won't work on my car, the one that's approved. And they're like, okay, so just send it to your own one. So I had them sent to the own one, and they sent someone out to that body shop, and then they got it, like it was approved, but after a long time, after the adjuster came and took a look at it. But they still honored they talked with the body shop about how much the damage was, like how much repair was really needed. I don't know if they did that with your body shop,
Yeah,
or they just gave
that's
you
what
a
I would
pre-approved
assume.
amount, right?
But
Because they can't.
wouldn't they talk with each other and be like,
Yeah.
okay, like kind of like health insurance, right? Like
Yeah.
that your health insurance will negotiate with the hospital or the doctor and figure out, okay, what are we willing to agree on?
Yeah, I don't think they're like, oh, I'm guessing that this is going to cost $2,300. I'm pretty sure that they talked to the body shop, right? And
but obviously it wasn't until after the repairs were done.
they didn't talk to your body shop before the repairs were done.
No, but that shouldn't be.
crazy.
No, they
usually
talk to the body shop ahead of time, and they get approval to start before they
That's
start
what
working.
that's what it's supposed to be.
That's how
they
it
get
is for me.
approval from the insurance company at the insurance.
Right.
Yeah.
And then at least I have the idea of, okay, well, if I want it done at Tesla, I'm going to have to come out of pocket $1,100. But this is just a complete surprise to me.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to pay
Like,
that. I think someone dropped the ball and did not connect to the insurance player.
Is that $1,100 that your deductible?
No. The deductible was waived because it was deemed not my fault. And in fact, the other insurance company is going to end up paying for this anyways.
They're going to pay the $1,100?
No, the other insurance. So Geico was the other insured insurance company.
Okay.
And my insurance company, I usually always go through my own insurance company because I don't want to have to deal with somebody else's insurance. So I go through mine. They do the repairs. They take care of everything.
And then they get them. They get it from the other one. Yep.
Right. So this is what I don't understand. Like, you're going to get the money from the other people anyways. Like, why are we doing this? Like, just approve the full amount, because it's not like I went out and got my own estimate. No, this is coming straight from a body shop.
That doesn't sound right.
Yeah, I agree. Something's a little weird there.
You should call him and be like, dude, this is not in the policy. I don't know. Did you talk to them already?
I'm trying, dude. They get 1 business day to respond.
So now what? Now you can't pick up
So
your car until this is solved, or you're gonna go like you don't want to go and pay the money first and not know if you can.
right.
Yeah, on the hook. That's ridiculous.
I, I know. I'm trying to figure out what's the next step.
That sucks.
Man, I'll tell you, these days nothing's easy, and it drives me crazy.
And they try and make it harder. Everything is hard until you say, "All right, I'd like to switch to another company. I'd like to cancel my policy," and then they have your attention. It's
Yeah,
with
maybe that's
everything.
what you got to do. I don't know.
Oh, sorry. What? I was just reading a message from my.
No, you gotta be like, "Oh,
You
I'm
got to
gonna
threaten. You
cancel."
got to say, "Hey, all right,
Yeah.
listen, if you guys are going to pull this nonsense, then why would I want to give you my business?"
Right. But who do I do that to? USAA or Tesla?
No,
Both.
USAA.
Yeah, it's
USA
USAA's
no,
fault.
it's
This
USAA's
is
fault.
clearly USAA's
Yeah,
fault.
it's
Right?
not Tesla's fault. I don't think, unless Tesla was given a certain approved amount that they're for the repairs, and they exceeded that, understanding after talking to your whatever insurance.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I guess that's the thing, right? Is I just feel as if a huge ball was dropped, and I just like I'm left trying to catch the dang thing. Like at
Right.
least if I had some heads up on, hey, this is gonna be $1,100. I'm like, no, I'm not paying $1,100. You know, that's
Yeah.
33% extra.
But now it's
No.
too late because the repair is done already, and you're
Right.
just like,
No, it's yeah, man. I don't know. I don't know if it's a society thing, but like there was just recently there were like 2 issues where like things are supposed to just like very simple things should be run smoothly, and there's always someone in the chain that screws it up, right? Like simple things like, so I ordered that mower, right? And I had some gift cards from points on a credit card that I used towards
yeah,
partial of the payment for the mower. And Home Depot didn't ship out the mower like for like a week and a half. And so by that point, the credit card doesn't allow them to charge it anymore. So then they had to cancel the order, but they had already taken all the money off the gift cards, right? And so, on the phone, they're like, oh, 7 business days, it'll be back. What do you guys think? Did it actually go back on the gift card? No. That
no,
money just
no shot. This
that
is like,
magically, it magically vanished. And so which something should have been so simple, had to like call up and spend like an hour on the phone getting that money back. And it's just like, dude, like this is simple stuff.
It's fraud.
You're literally like, my time is valuable, your time is valuable, and we're set dealing with stuff we should not be. I almost think there should be like some sort of financial penalty to these companies when they literally waste our time with this nonsense.
absolutely.
Right. Yeah, I've been on the phone with USAA multiple occasions. The guy who's running my whole thing has just been out of communication. I've had to call him over and over and over again after he's stated, hey, I will give you a call once we get this information. Come on, dude. Let's go.
What's his name? This guy?
Jeff.
Jeff. Oh God, I hate Jeff. Jeff sucks. God, Jeff.
Dude.
Jeff
from USAA.
Yeah.
If you don't get your what in order, man, you're
We're coming for you, buddy.
Yeah, seriously.
Watch it. Better watch it, Jeff.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, he's saying it looks like the difference on the Tesla estimate compared to the estimate that we have complete is the amount of labor hours. From what I can see, we have authorized the additional labor hour rates that Tesla has required, but the hours of labor seem to be different. I've reached out to the appraiser to see if he can clarify the difference or explain to me why there is a difference. Once I've received a response from him.
Yeah. At least that's.
Did he just respond
something.
just now?
Yeah.
Dude, text him back. Be like, I hate you.
No. Ben needs this taken care of. Once it's taken care of, then you can say
Say I hate you.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna file a complaint.
Oh.
I don't know for who, but It's just ridiculous. I'm like, come on, man.
So ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a huge gambler. I go to the casino every once in a while, but essentially that's what you're doing. Every day or every month that you pay the insurance company, you say, all right, insurance, I bet you, because I have 2 cars and I friggin' live here in Florida, I bet you $450 this month that I'm going to get in an accident. And they say, I'll take that bet. I don't think you will. And every month I pay and pay and pay. And then finally, told you I was going to get in an accident. Well, we're not going to really cover that much. So
Yeah,
let's try again next month.
That's all insurance. That's health
it
insurance,
is.
I know.
house insurance, health insurance, car insurance, all of it.
Yep.
It is, unfortunately, man. It's
And then when you need it, you can't get it. They may or make it as difficult as possible to get it.
Right.
That's how they make their monies. And the worst part is you're required to have it too.
that's the racket, is that you have to have it.
You have to have it.
I caught an Uber when I flew back one of the Friday nights from Tampa back here. Caught an Uber from a really nice gentleman. He was from Afghanistan, and he's like, man, he's like, people, in my country, they're like, oh, you make so much money, like, cause it's US dollars, he's an Uber driver or whatever. And he's like, yeah, but when you're in Afghanistan, no one has life insurance, or like no one has car insurance. Like, you just drive your car. Like, there's nothing like that, except here you have all these bills. Like, oh, you want a car? Well, then there's, this bill, that bill, this bill. Like, it's
Yeah. Oh, same within Mexico. I think Mexico, the insurance is very, very, very minimal. And people, you have, so my brother-in-law used to live in Mexico City, and you would have a 3-lane road, and there would be 5 cars wide on that 3-lane road. And so you'd hit somebody, give it a little fender bender, and you just keep going. Like, it's crazy.
crazy.
But here, everybody needs their cars perfect, and so the insurance companies are willing to take advantage of that. Right? You want your beautiful car. You need a brand new car every 3 years. But if something happens to it, you want to make sure it's good. So we're going to charge you a bunch of money.
That's one of my favorite things about having a truck now. It's not even like an expensive truck. It's just I don't care, and it's great. It feels great to not really care.
Do not care about fender benders or anything like that.
Well, obviously, like a major one, but like if it gets a scratch, like, okay, like, no big deal. Like, especially when you're throwing, like, yard debris in the back of it and stuff like that.
The only reason I cared is because somebody else's insurance was gonna pay for it.
Well, and that's, yes, and yes.
So I thought, like,
So you thought.
come on, yeah.
But now it's you. You're actually paying for it. No, you're not gonna pay for this. It sounds like he's like, all right, that shouldn't be it. We're gonna take care of it. That's what it sounds like, to be honest.
But what drives me nuts is it should have never gotten this far to that point. Like, they should have already been talking. Like, the fact that you had to get involved and probably, I'm guessing, spend hours or thinking
It's
about
like
it,
this
dealing
with
with it.
every single like service thing. Like
It
try
is.
and like understand why your phone bill went up. Be like, oh, we made a mistake. Try and get someone at your house to work on your internet, right? Like you're like, it's just the worst.
Yeah.
That's why when I need help, like I needed help on my internet because it wasn't working properly. I didn't even try calling customer support. I just called like cancel my service, and then they sent someone the next day.
There you
Right.
go.
Like that's what
love it.
I do literally every single time.
Oh yeah, that's not a bad idea. Yeah, because the customer retention agents can usually do a lot more.
Yeah, for sure. It's because those businesses make so much money off of people just like the switching cost is so high. Nobody like think about it. Like no one wants to sign up for a new phone service. No one wants to set up a new this or that, right? So it's so much cheaper just to keep people and
Yeah.
lower the rates or whatever than like try and get someone else because everyone already has whatever someone for that product.
That's one of the reasons that banks offer, oh, you can get $400. You just have to direct deposit into our bank. I'm like, nope, not worth $400 to switch my internet, my cable, my cell phone bill, I mean, it's just all the things, right? Like so many different things that you have connected to your bank accounts that it's tricky. Anyway, yeah, John saying, Gareth, KDP has been doing crazy swings between 29.60 and 29.90. Do you think the big money is just making it right up and down with big buys since the risk is relatively low at these price points?
Oh my gosh, I don't know.
Sometimes we put a little bit too much focus and effort on what could potentially be going on.
Yeah, I think this stock again is just, I mean, I guess it's showing 25 million today traded, which is a lot of volume. Yeah, could just be continuing to see some sellers that are unloading due to the news, and there could be other buyers like us that are like, hey, listen, this thing should rally back. So
Adam saying, to a certain degree, these regulations drive the economy. Auto repair shops, insurance, carports. I don't know how insurance would necessarily drive the economy. They just they're like leeches. They just suck money.
You'd actually think it would. I mean, think about if you didn't have to pay insurance, like that money could be put into travel. That could be put into buying something new. Yeah.
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 I get it. Carport stores, gas stations, and so on. Healthcare are the largest industry and the most regulations, and is also the most complicated. Yeah. Yep. If we didn't have such high insurance premiums and car insurance, I mean, that's $1,100-$1,200 a month just gone every month. Most likely you'll never see again, or never use the amount of money that you've paid in. And they know that, which is why they have astronomical profits. Anyway, just frustrating that we have to talk about this on that show because
this is our Wednesdays are our gripe afternoons. We just like
complain.
Yeah. Great.
I mean, when the markets aren't moving much,
I know. I will say this about the markets, like after all the hoopla of the markets, like the S&P's up 7 points today, 7 points, 0.1%. That's not good. Like in terms of, with that Google news and Apple going up as much as it is, if that's the best the market can get out, not good.
Not good for the markets, but it's good for us.
Yes, we'll take it.
Fernando saying, tapping into your inner housewife.
Yeah.
Jake saying, just check out the insurance company CEO salaries. That's where it all goes. Yeah. Lawrence is saying, what I found interesting today was every time the Qs sold off, KDP moved higher. I guess inverse to the Qs should make it a defensive name and prime for some money rotation potentially.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Insurance needs, Derek saying, insurance needs to keep going and maintain around 8% profit. Pension funds depend on it. It's unfortunate. Oh. John saying, why do you not self-insure? It's just a deposit with the state, typically around 30 grand. I didn't know you could actually do that.
I didn't know you could do that either. Like you're doing your own car insurance?
I'm Googling this. I'm very curious.
Yes, me too. I'm Googling it too.
You may be able to self-insure your car, but it's only allowed in certain states and requires you to demonstrate significant financial capacity to cover potential losses through a large cash deposit. Yeah, so this would be my fear, right? Is like, it's one thing to be like, all right, I'll self-insure my car from an accident, right? Worst case, my car, let's say my truck was like about 50K. All right, it gets totaled, I lose 50K. But like, what if someone gets injured and then sues you for like $3 million? Now that would be what I would be scared of. Like that's
especially here in Florida, right? I
Right.
mean, lawyers for everything.
Yeah, there's every other billboard is a different lawyer.
Yeah.
Well, it. Who is it? Morgan and Morgan.
Morgan and Morgan.
They're for the people.
Morgan and Morgan.
I wonder if you could quantify how much a firm has caused rates to go up. Like, what was that, like 10% higher in Florida because of that firm? Probably.
Yeah, for the people. Yep.
Morgan and Morgan and Farah.
There's like so many though. They're like, if you just drive up,
I know they all have the
US
same
19,
names.
There's like 10 others.
I know. And then there's this guy, Dennis Hernandez, Harvard Law graduate, Dennis Hernandez.
Yeah, better call Sal. Come on. All right, it's 3:30. Whew.
Oh man. Yeah, great roll on gold, and gold, gold definitely rolling over here. Still up for the day, but coming back in.
I'm still mad at GDX.
Yeah.
All right, what do you say we shut this whole thing down and then get ready for earnings trader?
Yeah, guys, we're gonna be going live in literally 15 minutes in the earnings trader to trade. What are we trading today?
CRM, I think, right? CRM.
Salesforce, HPE,
AI, C3 AI.
CRDO, Asana has earnings. So some good earnings. We're going to be doing it again tomorrow. If you want access to that, you can subscribe to the Smart Money Stocks and ETF service. All right. But thank you, and thank you to all of you on YouTube for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening to us, bitch and moan. Thank you, guys.
Bye, guys.
Take care.
You guys have a great day.